name is Michaela, and this is a storytelling station. So I am going to tell you a story, and there's going to be parts of the story where I'm going to want you to act it out with me, and I'm going to ask for your responses. But the most important part right now is that you get into this mindset. So I need everyone to jump into their time machine. Stand up. Jump into your time machine. Make some time machine noises. We are all the way back. I am 3 years old. You can take a seat. I am 3 years old. So, I told you my name is Michaela, but now my name is Mickey, because that's what I went by when I was little. So my name is Mickey, and I'm going to tell you a story about when I was 3 years old. It was weather kind of like this, but it was back in Illinois, where I'm from. It's like a suburb west of Chicago, and I grew up in the suburbs, so I didn't have quite as lucky of a setting as Nature Boy Oak, but I found my own way to be pegged as the nature girl all through the rest of my life. But at 3, I was Mickey, and there was weather like this, and the clouds came out, and it started to get stormy, and instead of going inside, that was the time I liked to go outside. So I ran out into my yard, and it was pouring rain. You know that type of rain that it makes like those little cups, like it's falling so hard it makes like little cups of water all over the place. So I was running through the rain, and I ran outside, and I came back to my house with 3 garter snakes. I had 2 in one hand, 1 in the other, and I was yelling, "Mom! Mom! I need..." And she says I said I need an aquarium when she's told me this story, but I don't know if I said I need an aquarium at 3. Whatever, I was saying I needed somewhere to put these snakes. And she said, well, what do you think she said?
No.
You think she just said no?
Absolutely
What do you
not.
think she said?
I mean, because
you're gonna find out.
Be like totally cool.
Well,
Let's see what we can
she's
find.
your kid. Probably all right with it. Yeah.
So she said, oh, Mickey, that's awesome.
There you go.
But we're gonna keep those snakes outside where they live. We already have 30 pets. So we put the snakes back outside. All right, everybody, jump back in your time machine. We're fast forwarding this time, so go maybe the opposite direction. Into the future. All right, now I'm about 5 years old. Okay, you can join me on the ground actually. So again, I'm with my mom. One of my stories when I'm little begin with my mom. So I'm out there with my mom, and my mom's gardening, and I was just digging through the soil. So you can imagine me digging through the soil. You can dig through the soil, see if there's some soil around you. And in the soil, I found worms. And I just had worms in my hand. I was like, oh, Mom, look what I found. What do you think she said?
Cool.
Totally cool.
She said, Mickey, that's awesome. So we just kept digging. She told me whenever I'm out here in the garden, you can always come look for worms. And maybe when I was little, I heard a hummingbird. And what do you think I said when I saw a hummingbird? What do you think I thought of a hummingbird when I was 5 years old?
A fairy.
That would be cool. I wish I was that creative. I didn't care at all. I didn't really like birds. I thought they were boring. My mom would be like, Mickey, it's a hummingbird! And I would say, don't care. Not until I got older. Now I love birds. I'll get to that part. All right, hop again into your time machine. Doop, 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 doop. All right, so now, this is going to be about when I am 11 years old. So I'm riding on my bike. Everybody go on your bike. We can ride around on your bike. Let's ride down to the creek. Ride down to the creek. Yep, you can go. We're riding down to the creek. Down by the creek. Okay. And back by my house, you can take a spot by the stream or back on a big rock, somewhere you like to sit when you're down by a stream. And back behind my house, I would ride my bike through the neighborhood. As I got older and Mom said it was okay to go off by myself, I would ride my bike down to the creek, and I would sit there, and I would listen, to the animals and watch all the animals, and I loved to draw pictures of all the things that I saw. What kinds of things do you think I would see down by the creek back in Illinois? Maybe something big and furry, maybe something small and slippery, maybe something that makes tweet, tweet, tweet noises. What do you think I could see?
Maybe a deer. I don't know where you live in Illinois.
Yeah, I saw deer.
Or a raccoon.
Deer out there. I saw raccoons. One time actually, I was sitting out and I like to do oil pastels, and I was like drawing this big tree down by the creek. And I just had gotten to this part where I was at the fork in the tree at the top, and this raccoon popped up and put its head right there.
Cool.
So I have this picture that I remember seeing a raccoon because I drew the little raccoon head right there. So I saw a raccoon. What else do you think I saw?
Frogs.
You think I would have seen one of these little guys?
Roly-poly?
Roly-poly? I love to see the little roly-polies. So I saw all sorts of animals down there. Oh, I've got another story from when I was 11, maybe 12, like right around going into middle school. There was another one where it was raining. Can you make some rain noise? Boom! We had crazy thunderstorms back in on it. So I ran outside in the rain, and I like to do cartwheels. Can any of you do cartwheels? Yes. You can do a cartwheel? Maybe Maggie will do a cartwheel for us. Will you do a cartwheel for us?
Better be good.
It is good.
Good.
Yay! So I did cartwheels, I would do somersaults, and all these things out when it was raining. And one day I came inside after doing all my cartwheels and somersaults out in the rain, and I walked into my house, and my mom screamed. She started screaming, "Get out of my house!" because I was covered in slugs. Oh, we had slugs all over my yard in the rain, and they were falling off of me. And my mom just thought that was disgusting. But you know, my mom, even though like she got grossed out by the slugs in her house, we didn't kill them. We just took them back outside where they belonged. And with the worms, she always let me dig for those. So she was like my mentor. And I think it's really wonderful to like just have somebody like that who supports you in looking for those gross, disgusting things that some people call them gross and disgusting, right? And other people will just tell you, hey, I want to know what's under this rock and stick. So we've got a little bit of time left, so we can just look around and see what we can find underneath these rocks and sticks until it's time to switch. Okay. Did any of you guys have similar stories? Like things that you did as a kid, or like different or similar to my story?
Definitely. There is a creek behind my house that reminds me a lot of this, where all I would do was just play outside all the time.
Yeah, I had a pond. It was like a old beaver pond next to my house. Yeah. But a lot of it was like, it was like just about being out there too. It wasn't like just necessarily looking for bugs and stuff. It was like playtime, your fantasy land, you know.
Yeah.
Forts and whatnot.
I was always super respectful of living things, so I didn't like to catch them. I would follow things, like just follow, like butterflies, you know, I'd follow. When my grandfather got me a butterfly net, like a little jar to put it in, I was just horrified because that was not what I would want to have a butterfly do. I'd want to just follow it, you know, as far as I could, so I couldn't follow it anymore. I'd collect all kinds of dead insects that I found, but I wouldn't want to catch them.
Cool. What do you think inspired you to have that sense of like morals for like this is how I should treat animals? Even though like you know like some kids that really love animals, they want to hold them and touch them all. So what do you think gave you that? You think that was just something you were born with, or you think a way that somebody else in your life approached animals?
I don't know. I think it's more uniquely me. My family was pretty respectful of animals, but they would squash spiders. So, you know, when I was really little and I was a little bit afraid of that spider on the ceiling, I always had that quandary, like, do I call my parents and they'll squash it? That would be worse. Or do I just watch it there until I got old enough to just move it myself? So I don't know. My parents don't squash spiders anymore.
Awesome. My parents don't use bottled water anymore.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good
Good
win.
win.
I
Yeah.
think San Francisco banned bottled water.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great, yeah.
I know.
It's incredible.
Any other stories? Any other childhood memories? Encounters?
You know, I used to collect bugs when I was on the stream with my dad when he would be fly fishing, and that's all I really did was collect bugs and carcasses and caddis flies and all that. And he let me do it, but he said to make sure I saved them. And so when we got home, he would always go through them and talk about which ones he used that day to catch fish, what they were. Talked about matching the hatch, which is a term about just matching what's hatching off of the thing. So it was really fun because I got to catch bugs and enjoy it, and then he got to teach me about fly fishing from a different perspective. So that was pretty cool.
It's actually useful information.
Yeah, really.
Thank you, totally.
Yeah.
So you're the go-to on the fly fishing, right?
I wouldn't say go-to, but I certainly could extend my knowledge to you. But I wouldn't say go-to. I'm no expert. Always in training.
Maggie's gonna teach a bunch of the fly fishing camps in Boulder.
Cool.
Maggie's the go-to.
Well, she's learning too, right? But you're excited about it.
I just got a fishing license.
Nice.
Yeah, do you want to go fishing? I've never done it before.
Perfect.
Yeah,
They don't make you know how to do it before you get a license to do it.
Sorry, whoa.
Fishing
I
license.
mean, it's
Anybody
just
can get a
how
fishing
many. Yeah,
That's
it's
just like a
to be
state
able to-
thing.
That's just the legal.
You should
The
you should always
legal
buy one
thing.
too, because even if you go hiking, you should buy a fishing license, because
If
they
you get
if you get
lost.
stranded, that means you don't have to pay for the search and rescue.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
really?
good if you're skiing backcountry.
So you should just buy one.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
You
if
get a
wanna
fishing
off, it's
license,
like
and then you
$5,000
never have to worry
bill.
about it.
No kidding.
Something happens.
Why is that?
And it's only like $20 if you have a
I think it's just because you actually
You're
buy
paying into a
fund.
pool that
Yeah,
Okay.
you,
It's
right.
like an
It's like an
insurance.
insurance. Yeah, totally.
It's really interesting.
Trying to see. It's called Wildlife. Oh no, never mind. Search and Rescue. It's 25 cents per person,
That's awesome.
and then you end up not having to pay for it if
Wow,
you get
that's
rescued. out
great.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that dilemma. Like, should I call for help?
Yeah.
I'll have to pay
I don't
though.
think California does it like
Yeah.
And then you
Should
can
be
do,
like that.
you can add, if you add another like $10 or something, you can have 2 routes.
Yep.
In
Nice.
at once.
Yeah.
I found a snail.
No. Really?
Yep.
Let's check it out. I want to see what lives here.
So this isn't entirely outdoor experience, but what my kids like to play at the dinner table is it's a guess the
There's a
animal
couple of
game.
them stacked
You know,
together.
so we'll start off it's like, well, or it doesn't have to be an animal. My thing, you know, is you can find it underwater. It'd be like freshwater or saltwater, you know, and like we play this guessing game at dinner. So it's kind of, they like to think of, you know, they like to look around during the day for things, but then they'll play the guessing game at night, which is pretty cool.
That's so
So
fun.
that actually might be a kind of a fun game if you've got some downtime at lunch or something like that to play like the guessing game.
Yeah. Well, have you ever played Park Ranger? It's like a game where you would need to have all these different characteristics in mind too. But like I have it where like everyone picks an animal that they want to be and they line up, or yeah, any living thing they want to be and they line up, and then the park ranger calls out like, if you have 4 legs, then you run across and they try to tag you, or you could do like, if you live in salt water, and then they would run across. And then like you just get more and more rangers. So I like set the boundaries, and it's like if you run out of bounds or you get tagged, you become a ranger too.
It's kind of like Fire
That's
in the
cool.
Jungle.
Yeah, that's what the Sanchez kids tell
Yeah,
me that
that's,
it's like.
that's how I know this. They
Where'd you
tell me
find
that
these
too.
Right over here.
Did they
This
say
is
hi
a
to you?
long 30 seconds.
Here.
I think it was 30 seconds for the collecting. Whatever her
They
station
They all
is.
say hi to you when they came.
Yeah,
I said, tell them Gina said hi.
and I was like, is she here? Does she know that I'm gonna be here? I also didn't
Secretly, I was hiding out.
look at my clock to see how long it was though.
Are the parents in these programs generally pretty protective? Are they pretty hands-on? Like a lot of questions in your face kind of feel?
I think it varies a lot from depending on the parents. And I work a lot with the like scholarship camps and the school group camps, and a lot of those parents don't speak English, so I don't get asked very many questions. But I have had some camps where it's like similar to Mrs. Busy Bottom or whatever, where they're just asking you like every little thing.
Give you like a schedule of like when you apply sunscreen to their kid or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
definitely happened.
Yeah, you get a good feel of that when you make all your phone calls
Yes.
the week before. before or whatever.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You get a
do-
feel
You
right
phone call
away.
every parent.
Yeah, you call every parent before the camp starts to kind of get a rundown. It gets easier as you do it, but you get a good feel for what parents are going to be those busybodies if they answer. That is. Or for that matter, if they call you back, right?
Right.
You're the strangers having my kid. I'm not going to talk to you. Whatever. I trust you.
Yeah. Do you work more at the school groups too, though, or no?
I'm yeah.
Oh,
Well, this
dream
year I'm
groups?
doing Sanchez and Columbine.
Yeah.
They're actually Sanchez is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love doing the scholarship groups.
Me too.
Can other kids get scholarships or not?
Oh, absolutely.